In the past year or two, generative artificial intelligence, also called Gen AI, has taken the world by storm. It's so easy to write a description of what you want, push a button, and generate some art. So does that mean that the jobs of artists and composers are about to disappear? In this video, we'll take a look at the current state of the art for music generation, where these AI systems could go in the next few years, and my thoughts on whether human artists and composers are going to go extinct. In order to be useful, AI systems have to be able to generate music that fits some description. So I decided to ask several AI systems to do a simple task. Write a chorale in Bach's style that starts in A-flat major, modulates to C minor, and then goes back to A-flat major. I thought this would be fair since there are a number of Bach chorale datasets out there for music generation models to train on. Also, this is a task that most first or second year conservatory students would have no problem with. For example, I wrote this chorale in about 15 or 20 minutes. Before we get started, there are a few things to point out. There are lots of different types of AI system. There are general models, like OpenAI's ChatGPT and Google's Gemini, that try to accomplish any task you throw at them. They generate text and sometimes images. Happily, there is a standardized textual format for music called ABC notation that both of these are able to generate with varying degrees of success. Then there are more specialized music generation AI models. These can be further categorized into note generation systems like OpenAI's MuseNet, and audio generation systems like Google's MusicFX and many others. And some AI models are even more specialized. If you haven't been living under a rock for the past year or so, I'm sure you've heard of ChatGPT. Everyone uses it. But can it generate music? I used an increasingly sophisticated set of prompts to try to get it to generate the type of chorale I was looking for. Here's the best chorale I could get out of ChatGPT 3.5. And here's the best chorale I could get out of ChatGPT 4. I should mention that in most cases I had to edit the resulting ABC notation to make it usable. And as you can see, none of the above is anything close to a Bach chorale. The results from Gemini were mostly even worse, and I didn't get close to valid ABC notation in most cases. Here's the best result I got from Gemini Pro. And here's the best result from the brand new Gemini Ultra that I got access to just to make this video. I had to laugh a little at some of the results I got. For example, this one from Gemini Pro is just lyrics that must have been ripped off from some actual piece, no notes. This one, also from Gemini Pro, was so far from valid ABC notation that I couldn't make heads or tails of it. And finally, this one from ChatGPT 4 was all rests. Okay, I think it's clear that at least right now, general purpose AIs just aren't able to generate good music, even with some pretty intense prompt engineering. But there are lots of specialized systems for generating music, so let's listen to a few examples. MuseNet from OpenAI will generate music in the style of certain composers, both classical and popular, given a starting phrase. It can also generate music from scratch. It does not accept any textual input. Unfortunately, Bach wasn't one of the composers listed, so I generated music in the style of Mozart instead. Here's the best example it came up with. It's definitely music, but it's not all that close to Mozart, and it certainly isn't very artistic. There's also a product from OpenAI called Jukebox that generates audio, not notes, given a genre, a composer, and optional lyrics. They didn't have any publicly accessible samples in the style of Bach, but here's one that supposedly sounds like Beethoven. Here's the best example I could find that's supposedly in the style of Mozart. OpenAI's researchers noted that although it did sometimes generate recognizable chord progressions, Jukebox didn't generate anything with a recognizable form, for example, ternary form or verse-chorus form. Also, as you've heard, the audio is very noisy. MusicFX is the latest music generation model from Google. It directly generates audio, not notes, from a textual description. After some experimentation, I came up with this prompt, which generated something that was at least slightly similar to what I was after. Finally, in my quest for anything that could satisfactorily generate a Bach chorale, I found CocoNet, also from Google. CocoNet was specifically trained on Bach chorales, and that's exclusively what it generates. It will either harmonize an existing melody or generate a chorale from scratch. There's no textual input for this one, so I couldn't give it my criteria, that A-flat major to C minor thing. But here's an example that it generated from scratch for me. It's actually not too bad. Not quite Bach, but not too far off. Back in 2019, a team of computer scientists, composers, and musicologists started a 2-year project to create an AI that could complete Beethoven's 10th Symphony. Now, Beethoven died before he could finish the work and left only a few sketches. The AI models had to learn how to take a motif and turn it into a full melody, harmonize those melodies, stitch sections of music together, write codas, and so forth. And the result, while not quite Beethoven, was still not bad at all, especially when the result was performed by a real orchestra in 2021. But it took a huge team of people to pull this off. Way more effort by both human and machine than it would have taken one human to just sit down and write it. Plus, the models that were developed are specific to Beethoven's musical style. Still, it offers a tantalizing glimpse of what could be possible in future. As you can tell right now, the generalized AI systems we've seen aren't really very useful unless you're generating drum loops. But I think it's an inescapable fact that these systems will continue to get better and better. And this may surprise you, but I really hope they do. Just as AI art hasn't completely supplanted human artists, and sample libraries haven't completely supplanted real orchestras, I don't think AI music generation systems will completely supplant human composers. Why is that? With every significant advancement in technology, people have worried that they are going to become redundant. But what has happened every time is that the humans are able to do more interesting, high-level jobs and let the machines do the grunt work. The humans determine what needs to be done, they tell the machines what to do, then they inspect the output and make sure it's okay. This is just as true of sewing machines and industrial robots as it is of modern AI systems. If you don't have composers, you'll never be able to give the machines enough instructions to do their job and tell whether they've actually generated anything decent. Also, anything that a machine learning model generates is necessarily derivative. It can't create anything that isn't based in some way, even if in aggregate, on whatever inputs it receives. Now, you could make the same argument about human composers, but let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. So I'm currently writing a piece for a wind quartet in Texas. Because part of the piece is about nature, I decided to transcribe the call of the northern mockingbird and use it in part of the piece. Why? Because the northern mockingbird is a state bird of Texas. That just isn't something that an AI system would do. And real human composers do this sort of thing all the time. So where do I see AI being useful in writing music? I think there are several areas in which it could actually help human composers. First, it could help writer's block by generating simple musical examples that could help inspire a human composer. Second, it could help generate more realistic mock-ups than current sample libraries are able to. Here's an audio example that was generated by feeding a Bach chorale into a MIDI to audio generator that was told to emulate a string quartet, each instrument playing one voice of the chorale. Third, it could help to augment a composition, for example by improving orchestration or pointing out problems. Fourth, it could help transcribe audio into a usable musical score, a task that current software is terrible at. Fifth, it could help the process of notating music, things that every composer dreads, like lining up dynamics in just the right place, or putting page breaks in useful spots, or ensuring there are cues from a prominent instrument in every orchestral part after every long rest. And lastly, yes, it could actually generate adequate music where the quality or originality isn't as important, or where the sheer quantity of music required is such that humans could never hope to complete it. For example, AI models could partially replace some lower quality library music, or generate the hours and hours of music that would be required to accompany an audiobook. But I don't think that AI music systems will ever really replace concert or film composers. So, do I think composers are going to go extinct? No, I don't. In fact, I think that AI tools will help composers to write more music faster, rather than replace them. AI tools are just tools, no more, no less, and they require humans to use them and validate their output. If you have any opinions, whether you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments. And if there are other AI music systems I should try, leave a comment as well. I do try to read them all, and I reply to as many as I can. If you found this video to be interesting or thought-provoking, be sure to drop it a like on YouTube to help others find it. And as always, please subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this sort of content. Until next time, have a good one.